Welcome to another edition of Talking Pittsburgh. I'm Catherine Ament, very honored to be joined today by Dr. James Cooper, Assistant Professor of Pediatrics at Children's Hospital, and Alexander Murph, a patient, 19 years old. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
This is so important. We're talking about childhood cancer, and unfortunately just it hits home for so many people. But you're having a little fun in 2 weeks. Cur Rock. What is Cur Rock?
Cure Rock is a concert that we started to both educate people about childhood and adolescent cancer, as well as to raise funds for the Children's Hospital, and also for the community and our patients to have a good time with each other and get to see some local bands and some bands from around the country.
That's pretty cool. So this is a national thing. Bands from everywhere are coming in.
We do. We started out with mostly Pittsburgh bands, and this year we'll have 2 bands from Pittsburgh, Molly Alphabet and Triggers, and then 2 bands that are primarily based in Los Angeles, Teammate and Kate Earl.
And Alexander and I had a great idea that you should probably sing along with one of the bands.
I've been practicing.
You've been practicing.
Do a little Fly Me to the Moon, maybe.
You've got your audience. You want to try it?
I need a little more rehearsal time.
Alexander, tell us about your struggle with cancer and when you found out.
I was diagnosed February of 2013 with Ewing sarcoma in my hip.
Okay.
And I don't know, it was my senior year of high school. It was kind of terrible to get cancer at that point in my life. Mm-hmm. And from there I started chemo. I ended up having to get surgery September 11th of that year. I had about 10 inches of my hip removed and replaced with cadaver bones, so I'm still on crutches. Usually I'm in a wheelchair, but new development I can use crutches. Okay. And I don't know, it's been quite a journey, but I'm almost done. I have 2 rounds of chemo left, and I should be walking in about a month and a half.
That's wonderful to hear. And do you, obviously nobody wants to hear that news, but do you consider yourself stronger now on the other end of it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think anything can faze me anymore. I mean, if I go into the doctor's office, they tell me I have some other terrible disease, I'll be just like, whatever.
Do you see that a lot with childhood and young adults facing cancer? Because I was interviewing someone not too long ago. He's 15 years old and it's terminal, and you wouldn't think anything is wrong. He's playing Xbox and just being a kid.
Children are a lot tougher than adults, I think. Children are able to tolerate things a lot better. And I think sometimes we want to protect everyone and protect the children, but we don't give them enough credit for how they interpret things, how they understand things, and how strong and resilient they can be. And we love working with our patients. I mean, they're amazing and very inspirational. And even when we have to deliver bad news, it's something that we take very seriously and are very proud that we're able to have that privilege to work with families in such difficult situations.
And that's something that doctors dealing with this take very personally, to be very upfront with the patient, because I was surprised. I figured when I was doing this other story that you don't really tell them everything, but you do. And you seem to agree.
They tell me everything.
Do you like that?
Yeah, there aren't as many surprises if they put it all out at the very beginning.
Dr. Cooper, talk about the changes and the advancements we've seen. I was reading that 40 children are diagnosed every day with cancer, but the survival rates are very good.
Yeah, so childhood cancer, while rare compared to adult disease, has a much more optimistic outlook. Just over 80% of all children with cancer will be cured of their diseases.
That's amazing.
It's wonderful. And prognosis,
it wasn't always that.
No, it wasn't. Even in as recently as the late 60s and early 70s, cure rates were much lower. Okay. And so advances in treatment plans, largely through clinical research and advancements in what we call cooperative group trials, and having people part of research studies and learning how best to treat people, and also how best to limit treatment when you try to reduce side effects of medications, has really led to wonderful breakthroughs.
And you do a lot of those trial runs at Children's.
Yes.
Talk about what you've done and how successful they've been. We
are part of a large organization called the Children's Oncology Group, also called Cure Search, for patients and families, that tries to treat all young people with cancers in the same way, essentially. And so we don't ever do research where it's one group gets medicine, one group gets a placebo, but it's taking the best known treatments to date, tweaking part of it to either add a new medicine that might help cure rates, or removing a medicine or removing a dose of something that might cause more side effects down the road. And so we're trying to balance curing everybody, but then trying to prevent what are called late effects, which are the problems of chemotherapy and radiation therapy that survivors have later in life.
Gotcha, and you're really doing things that really aren't available in this region.
We do, right. We are one of the few children's oncology group centers in our region. We also have some unique fertility preservation protocols to try to help young people that maybe haven't thought about having kids down the road, about trying to preserve their fertility for the future. And we also have a wonderful staff of nurses, social workers, mid-level providers, technicians, and laboratory folks that are just great in helping us take excellent care of all of our patients.
You see the whole picture and you treat
Yes.
the whole picture. That's very great to hear. Alexander, talk about how important it's been to have your family by your side.
I'd be dead if it
Is that a
wasn't for
stupid?
that.
It's probably a stupid question.
Well, my entire family has been immensely supportive through this whole thing. I don't know. It's something that wasn't. It's not something I just went through. It's something that my mom and my dad and all three of my sisters went through too. It was kind of interesting when I first got it how each of them reacted differently.
Yeah.
Like I guess my dad was more strong, and my sister Charlotte freaked out. And
Sisters are like that.
Oh, yes,
anyway,
of
though.
course.
Well, we want to put up the information because this is a great opportunity again for families just to kind of take a break from the hospital
Right.
room and have some fun. Why don't you take us through again? It's next Saturday, right?
Yes, next Saturday at Jurgles Rhythm Grill in the Warrendale and Cranberry area. We'll have the doors open around 6 o'clock and the first band will start around 7 o'clock. We also will have an information fair there so that we'll have displays and takeaway items from groups like Livestrong, Fertile Hope, lots of cancer information to help people get through their treatment, and just if they want to learn more about it or learn how to support, sign up to be blood donors, bone marrow donors, things like that. We'll have all of that there for people while they're having a good time at
Wonderful.
Jurgles.
And you may sing.
We might.
Doctor, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Alexander, best of luck to you.
Thank you very
All right, we'll be right back.